Disclaimer. I am a law student, and the legal information provided is not legal advice. For that, please hire an attorney.
Any of these older videos up, but you go after
Which,
Shoe after
you know,
she's
it
taken
is what
down
it
a
is.
ton of her older stuff.
I've taken out a ton of my older shit too. When it's
Yeah,
brought
but
to my attention, I do it.
It seems like you only take it down when
This is
people.
a very
when you get
unfortunate
shit for it,
debate
though.
to listen
ShoeOnHead
to.
decided to take those videos
Yeah,
down
how
after
do you feel about it?
deliberating on it, talking to her friends.
After people get shit for it.
Zan
I'm
is
pretty
doing
sure-
a big mistake a lot of people do,
ShoeOnHead
which
gives
is
a shit
pointing
for
out
going
that
after
the
her,
opponent is a
for
hypocrite,
being
which
honest.
Dusty may very well be, but that doesn't actually matter.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That his
I mean,
argument
it
is
seems-
just as strong, whether he's a hypocrite or not.
So it
Yeah.
does kind of seem like she
Pointing out that he's a hypocrite just means that he's a hypocrite, and that, you know, people can shit on him.
Wait, why would she?
Doesn't
But it's-
actually
like
address
she's-
the
why would she be
argument,
intimidated by that?
which seems to be.
Oh, I don't think
And
she's
correct me if I'm
intimidated by it. I think
wrong.
she's
Maybe Chad
listened
can
to
correct
me
me,
and
but
she
I
knows
started
that
listening to this when I was in the
pointed out
shower.
to her, like, say, technically,
So
that's
basically, it's that Shoe used to have a bunch of controversial or super far-right takes which ended up causing a lot of harassment to people. Some of the videos which caused that harassment is still up on her channel, and even and either she hasn't taken down those videos, or to the extent she has taken down some of those videos, she hasn't apologized for the harm that she caused.
Okay.
Is that basically all of it?
I don't think she gives.
Yeah, from
feel safe
what
to
I
say-
understand of the
I
debate,
feel
that's
pretty
basically
safe
what it
saying
is.
She probably
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit.
The thing that's kind of awkward about this is that
about
I
your
think that
criticisms towards her with these
I
videos
don't know.
when she's got Sargon
I think that
and
June
Short
probably.
Taku,
I think that
going
she's
after
fundamentally
her
a good
right now,
person,
and
and I
their
think that
fans,
she has
simp
come a long
selling
way in her
all of
political views.
replies on
Hey,
Twitter,
Lynn.
okay? I think,
but
for some reason,
it's
I have a
hard
hunch
because
that
I
that's
do think
probably
that
not
there's a
why
problem where
took
she
those
hasn't
videos
like
down.
properly reckoned with a lot of her
Maybe not. I'm
past
not inside of
takes.
her head, so I have no idea, but that
Like
would
to
be
an
what
extent
I
that
would
would make a
think.
lot of
But no,
people
I just
who
want
she's
guys
now
that's my
appealing
opinion.
to like satisfied.
What else we got? I gotta go
And
spend some time with
I
my
don't know.
girlfriend.
This
Let's
isn't
wrap
like
this
the
shit up.
most
Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else?
like
for me?
and I say this, I want to make sure that I'm
here,
clear
actually,
that like I
About the
don't have any
importance
negative
of, you know, feminism,
views or
because,
feeling
like,
towards
it's
her,
still
but
an
like
incredibly
it's
important issue.
not
Feminism is
the like I don't think that Dusty's take as I've heard it so far is the craziest one. Shoe has never had far right takes.
Oh, yeah,
What,
for
dude?
sure.
I do think she has been wrong or taunting, but what?
And,
Well,
so
not
you
it's not like far.
understand that
Well, I
there
mean
are
like
many different types of
it depends
feminism?
on how you define far right. So like a lot of her
Yes, you're right,
anti-feminism
types of
and a lot of
Yeah,
like
yeah, I think
especially
this
like
is
the
important to
anti-feminism,
clarify here.
anti-SJW
So
stuff
most of
was
ShoeOnHead's,
broadly
I guess
construed
you could
by
call it
people to
anti-feminist
be
content
kind of
that's
like
up
reactionary
now,
far
are
right.
videos making
Not
fun of
necessarily because it
TERFs,
advocated for any far right
and,
positions,
well,
but
actually,
because
I
it
was gonna list
attacked
a
like
different,
more
a
lefty
different
views by
example, but
virtue of
these people
attacking
are also
SJWs. That's the
TERFs. I don't
reason
know if
why
you've
she
seen
was
the
so
ones about
popular
the,
among that crowd. You
vagina
know.
cultist types.
And eventually it came out that like, oh, she doesn't actually have those kind of views. She's actually more of like a sock dem, right?
Born female
like,
at birth vagina havers or
it's
whatever,
still-
shit like that. And like the liberal
I think
pop
that the
feminism,
main
or,
issue is that she's just created
rainbow
like a fundamental rift
capitalism,
between
if you know what
herself
that
and the
is as
audience,
well,
which she's now
which I think
appealing
is
to, which
completely
is like kind of a
fine
different
to,
audience from what she appealed to
criticize
before.
personally, as a leftist.
I think,
Okay,
and that's why I say like I think
What
that
else we
she's a
got?
fundamentally good person, and I like that she's
I
you
want
know
to talk
going in this
about her
direction
more-
as her
her-
channel.
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
just that,
believe
like,
she's definitely a good
more
person,
recent
too.
content.
Yeah,
Do you
I just
think
I
that
don't know, like
she
this
should be a
take
part of the
isn't
left? Like, do you
like I feel
that
like
she's gone.
I kind of expected for people to be making this argument. I'm surprised, and I think that the reason why a lot of people haven't is because, and this is the thing that people won't say out loud, a lot of people want to be really nice to her so that she stays over here. I think that's basically why no one has said anything negative, is because no one wants to like
I think
scare
that's
her off.
definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is the reason, right? And I think that to an extent that's valid. You know, like it is good to be more accessible and welcoming to people who are like changing their political views, right? But I also think that like
So
it's not surprising that like once you've had someone who's kind of
hold on,
acclimated to the
someone sent me
new
something.
like political setting or community or
Why
whatever,
would you send me that when I
that some of the
talked to
people
somebody?
might
What the fuck?
have a little, you know, that
Yeah,
some
no,
people
it
might
just
feel
seems
there's some reckoning
interesting
to do
me
with some of
because
her prior
also
actions.
it's been like a year that ShoeOnHead
I'm not
has
sure what
been,
the best
doing the
solution
things
to
that
this
you've wanted
is.
her to do.
I
And
feel that
seems
as long
really
as like
strange to me
so
that
far,
you've gone-
some
you're
people can be
continuing to go
unreasonable in what
really
they
hard
ask
against
for.
her. And,
So like for example, some people could like if someone were to make the argument that like, oh well, I think that there's absolutely nothing that Shoe could do and that Shoe shouldn't, that Shoe should just have nothing to do with this community or this, you know, the left or anything like that. I feel like that's unreasonable. I feel like we should invite change. But to say that like she should put up a video like basically apologizing and you know like clearing some of this air, like that seems more reasonable.
probably the best
Yeah.
way to do it, and yet you persist
I
with
think
the
that's a
same
pretty fair
behavior you've been
take.
doing since
Yeah, I don't
2017.
think we should be like exiling people from the left. I mean, I don't even think that's like possible. First of all, like you can't like exile someone from being on one side of the political
Well, I'm not
spectrum
holding you accountable.
unless
Listen,
like
honestly,
you really
I
just
don't
try
give
to
a
bully
shit
them
about
out of
your
it,
other videos, okay? You
which
can
I
keep
guess is
those
a
up.
thing people
I
can
don't give
do.
a single shit.
And
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
really
that's the
don't.
thing that a lot of ShoeOnHead's videos did was she was never far right. I don't even think she was ever right wing, but like she did even self-admittedly parrot a lot of talking points from Milo Yiannopoulos
Yeah,
and
sure.
Stefan
So I
Molyneux,
don't give a shit about
and
your other
that's sort
videos.
of
The reason why I'm debating you
why
today is more so for your
her videos sort
your
of led
behavior
people
and
into,
how I
oh,
think
you
it's
know, I'll check out
detrimental to trying to.
Ben Shapiro next, or Stefan Molyneux next, or Milo Yiannopoulos
I
next,
think it's detrimental
and eventually
to
people
the
just
left's
got
optics.
further and further into it.
Oh, okay, cool. I think
Yeah.
holding the left
I mean, like
accountable for
that
the
is kind
bullshit
well, I
they
mean,
do
like that's
doesn't
what
make the
the
left
right
worse, it actually
pipeline
makes
is,
them
right?
better.
Like you start with
It's like
people
when
who are like
Bosch
largely
was making
apolitical,
jokes about,
but
you
who
know,
share
exterminating
like who
trans
don't
people,
necessarily
it's just being
advocate for
edgy,
any
but,
explicit
like, he
political
owned
views,
up to that shit
but
people
who share
called
the
him out
same
for. He course
criticisms
corrected, and he's a better
as
leftist
people
now
with
because
like
of
much
it. He's
further
not
right
worse
views
because
than
people
they
called
have,
him
you
out
know.
for
The
the shit he does
danger
wrong, and I'm not worse.
of
I'm not a worse
this
lefty because
is
people
that
call me
even
out
if
for
you
the shit
don't
I do and make
advocate
me
for
correct
the
my
same
shit,
kind of
I'm still not
affirmative
worse than the
beliefs,
left because people
by
call me out
virtue
for
of
the shit.
making the
That's not
same
how it works, man.
criticisms,
So
you create the
I think
same
we gotta
kind of
support each other on the
mindset
left, but
that
also
could
hold each other
lead
accountable
to
as holding
adopting
people
those
Yeah,
more
so what you're
affirmative
saying right now
beliefs that
sounds super
the
reasonable.
more
Like, yeah, you
radical
just gotta
person
hold
has later on down the
ShoeOnHead
line, you know.
accountable, to explain why what she's doing is wrong.
And so
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Problem is, when
and
I see
I
your
think that's
behavior
fundamentally
on
what
Twitter,
led
I see
to
how
like
you, and I know
Shoe
I watched you back in the day.
being
When I see how you've acted
kind of like part of
ever
this
since
radical,
you left the anti-SJW
you know, the
community,
pipeline, right?
And back then I supported it.
Is that
back
like,
in like 2017,
you
late
know,
2017. I don't
even though
support
she
it now.
made, even though
It
she
seems
didn't
like
like
it's very much
affirmatively
motivated
call
by
for any of the
spite.
kind of views that people on the
More
far right
so
would,
than a genuine desire to
she
see
still
ShoeOnHead
did
improve.
And that's a
make the
great
same
way to
criticisms that they
discredit me
did,
and
and so she was
dismiss
able to foster a
incredibly
lot of
valid
people, a
criticism
lot of
instead
her
actually
community to
addressing the
have like the
criticism.
same,
I am
like at
very
least in that
confident-
respect,
I am very
mindset as people
confident
who
in
are
that
much more further right
characterization.
than she is.
Okay, cool. So
Now, do I hold
was
her?
unfair
Now,
to
do I think that she
ShoeOnHead
knew what was going on?
when
No,
I called her
I
out
think
for
that she made a
platforming
lot of
Lauren
views that
Southern white supremacist
were defined that would be
propagandist
construed as like
and winning
reasonable
videos
by
with her
a lot of
and,
people's
signal
standards,
boost
right?
before. I would guess I was, you know,
It's just
unfair
but I mean, like that's
in
also
doing that,
how
right?
the
No,
far right gets
my
at people, right? Is that
criticism
they
was
usually
completely
start
fair,
with
and all you
arguments
do is try and
that can be
dismiss my
construed
very
as
valid
reasonable
criticism by
to
saying,
a lot of
"Oh,
people,
jealousy,
and
you're
then they
gotta be
end up
nice enough," or
drawing like a
whatever.
bunch
No,
of
I
like
mean, criticism is valid,
massively
it's valid. My criticism
giant
is
leaps
very
of
valid.
logic kind of
If you wanna talk
conclusions
about
from
the
there,
actual
right?
criticism I've had
It's like, oh
and
yeah,
try to
feminism,
explain
you know,
why it's
these
unfair, then I'd be happy to
SJW feminists
talk to
are
you
making
about
like
that. But you're not doing
super
that. Instead, you're
cringy
throwing
bad
these,
takes. You want to know why? It's
insults
not
out
because
to
pop
try to
feminism
dismiss
is
because I've
cringy and
seen
these
what it
people are
looks
bad
like to hold
individually, and
somebody
so far as
accountable,
they
and it's what
deliver their
Vosh
rhetoric.
and
It's just
Claudia
because
and
women and
ContraPoints have done.
feminists
What
are
you're
bad
doing
and
seems
evil,
very spite
and they're the
motivated.
cause of the downfall of Western
and that's, like I
civilization,
said,
right? Like
that's a
that's how
great
they
way
get
to
people.
just ignore some valid criticism.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
that
think
is
that's
that is a
just
massive
words
thing among
for
the
that
far
I
right,
think
where
Yeah, I know.
they
It's
have
the
this
debate
weird
tactics.
rhetorical strategy where they
very anti.
almost
All the
process of
debates actually work in
elimination
seconds. I can
strike
tell you
down
from that
different
community
points
because
that
it's a lot of the same
progressives say.
exact arguments that
Like,
they
say,
do to try to
the
discredit
reason
me.
black
Like,
people
you're
are
just jealous.
largely
You're, oh, you're
impoverished
doing
more
this for
than white
attention instead
people,
of actually
made fun
saying
attacking
that,
the
well,
problem.
it's not due
No,
to
I'm telling you, this is
socioeconomic
this is what they
factors,
do.
and it's not due to
similar.
cultural
You're not doing that,
factors.
but it's very similar tactic.
And
I
the
dismiss the very
only
valid
other option
criticism that I
besides
had.
those
I
two
didn't
things
engage in any type
is
of
that
debate
they're
or
just
rhetoric whenever I
born
was
like
a
that.
reactionary. I should clarify.
And they
Everything
won't
that I've learned about
explicitly
debating
say
has
that,
been
but they
from
will strike
practice
down
and
the other
from,
2
like, watching
points.
other debaters. That's been like
Yeah.
lefty debaters.
And so, like,
the most
no, I think that's
right-leaning
exactly
debater
right.
that I learned
So
my
it's very difficult when you
cadence
have
and
someone like
rhythm
Shoe.
from would be Destiny, and he's a
Who, yeah,
lib,
like
so,
I
you
like
know,
ultimately I
these
think that
aren't
she was
right-wing debate tactics. This is just
largely innocent in this happening, right?
how
it's
I
harder to
debate.
be able to recognize this
But
happening
no,
if you aren't like seeing the
legitimately,
entire
I don't
picture.
feel like this is something you would disagree with. I watched your
And I mean,
content
like,
back then.
I think it's
does
entirely
seem like,
reasonable for a larger
there's
creator,
some
for even larger
animosity
creators to
there,
not
and I
fully
agree with it
understand the
back in the
consequences
day.
of the kind of content that they
like,
produce.
I don't really see harm
I mean,
in
like as I've
acknowledging
grown,
that
I've
you
gotten to know
probably
larger
kinda have,
content creators who make
pretty
not the same but
negative
similar
feelings
kinds of
towards
mistakes, right?
ShoeOnHead,
Where they just fundamentally don't
particularly
understand
all the
and
scraps you guys got in on Twitter and
all
YouTube
of the
back in
negative
day, and that's sort
externalities of
clouding your
what they do
judgment
with their
on whether or
platform.
not
But like,
ShoeOnHead has done enough.
I don't know. The fact that now
that
she
actually
does
might be-
recognize
might
it,
be fair.
and she hasn't. I mean, like she's done a little bit, but to some people, not enough to be able to reconcile with that past. Yeah, like this debate right here. Can I? It's on another screen, but yeah, like this is
For
not
sure.
surprising. Because I think that there are a lot of people who still hold this belief, and this is like the thing that makes people resistant to like liking Shoe on the left. Like I do think that like I do think that if what do you call it? That if Shoe came out with like a more affirmative apology for some of the things that she's done, then I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would be.
You brought up
a lot
that you
better
might have some internalized.
Oh yeah,
misogyny,
100%.
right?
I think a lot of people,
reactionary and so on.
A lot of people see her as trying to have her cake and eat it too.
A little bit of misogynistic bias.
Well, not fully like admitting like, oh yeah, what I did back then was like really fucked up.
I mean, like this is the all right. This is the pragmatic thing for me. Like I don't get why. Maybe like I don't know. I feel like once you've already taken down some of your videos, that the logical next step of like just apologizing for what you did.
Yeah, because I actually
is a lot easier.
I picked up on this,
you know, because she's already taken down a lot of her older content.
It seems like you alluded to the
like
idea
it's not
that I'm only
an issue of
ShoeOnHead, or I'm only friends with her,
like taking down her content
because she's a larger YouTuber.
Or I don't know. I mean, like this is kind of like the same thing with Calvin, right? Like he took down a video after I talked to him about it. But it's not like he's gone out and made like an affirmative apology. That's probably like a very similar example actually, because Calvin, I would say, again, like based on like my interactions with him, is like a good person, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm also biased because now I don't know. I probably would say that we're friends, based on our own personal interactions, right? But I also understand that he still has not like, to a lot of people, properly reckoned for the things that he has done to like other smaller people or like non-binary people or you know like various people that he's talked about who he's labeled as like transgenders in general. So I don't think that that's necessarily unreasonable, right? Like I do think that like based on the totality of what he's done in the past, that it's reasonable for people to have those kind of views.
I really gotta go spend some time with my girlfriend, man.
It's just like you know, I can only do so much. Like I do want to try and be like someone who can be accessible to other people. But I also don't want to like devalue the experiences that people have had, right? Because like you know, the harassment and the negative representation that people have felt and have experienced is very real. And yeah, like it's hard to get people to apologize, but I don't know. I suppose that like for me, I definitely try to encourage it, but I also find that like just trying to strong arm people into doing it is usually not the right way to go about it.
I agree.
So I don't know. I'm always trying to figure out how to be able to get these kind of resolutions. Oh hey, Dylan Burns. Also, what's up? Feminism made me have more diverse people on my round table, allowing more perspectives to be a representation. If that's not fascism, I don't know what is. Yeah, hey, welcome to the chat. Good to see you.
Tens of millions of views every single year. So regardless if she is right now, she still has videos that are influencing people in that direction. She's still one of the most
I don't know. So like with Zan here, we haven't actually been listening as much because I don't know. What have they been saying? Chat, catch me up. Or Liz, have you been listening?
Yeah. Some people want me to hold you accountable. For,
I believe they're going over the same points where ShoeOnHead made transphobic videos. Zan is a notepad up right now. Going after feminism, calling out anyone who believes in rape culture is an idiot. I've seen the vids. She didn't call them idiots. She did all these things. Pepe left. I don't know. From what I hear, they've been mostly reiterating the same points.
That was funny, but I guess not.
That's extremely inappropriate. Like,
yeah, I mean, like it seems like a lot of it is just kind of going over the same points. Of basically, all right. So did June post like, or did she have a video where she had like an anti-feminist, anti-LGBT, etc. take?
And
not even
heavily motivating your. I would argue unfair.
So did she have like an vaguely, generally left position, which may have caused people harm, dispute about whether or not it actually happened, and then I don't know. I feel like this isn't like a great line of argumentation, right? Because I think it. I don't know. I think.
Wait, I know what you're referencing, and that's literally a fucking.
If we want to just be like purely. They pragmatic about it. I think that there are enough people on the left who think that broadly, like who broadly hold this position. I don't know, maybe they can be reasoned out of it, but I don't know, I feel like it's very hard to make the claim that Shue has never done anything that's that would like warrant an apology.
Sort of
I feel like that's not a
Yeah.
hill that she wants, because I mean like because I mean like there's already been some concessions, like she's taken down videos.
Like a tweet you thought was funny, like
she's taken down videos where she had those takes, and I don't think that anyone's is actually disagreeing about like the fact that she had bad prior takes, right? Now I don't know what like maybe Dusty is like a hypocrite, maybe he's a bad person, maybe like whatever. I don't really know, and I don't care.
The joke was, hey, you want to talk about
like
it?
I think that like that'll get Zan some like ownage points in the debate, but like to the merits of like, is she good for the left? And if the solution that he's giving is like yes, as long as she like meaningfully apologizes,
like I said, if you held me accountable,
that doesn't seem unreasonable.
To my lame ass stupid tweets,
100%.
Now, what do we do in the interim?
I don't know,
and like, what do we do about the fact that no one wants to basically scare her off? Which I do genuinely think is what it is, right? I think that people are a lot more sensitive about like levying criticism because they don't want to like scare Shue off and like send her back over to the right, because there's like this war over like the heart of ShoeOnHead, right? And I don't know. Maybe there is kind of an argument for that, but I feel like if like I think that there's a way to be able to be more honest, right, with these kind of discussions, right? I feel like if we just have such a like if we handle her so gently that it's almost like infantilizing, I feel like you run into an issue where it's like, okay, but this means that like we can't ever criticize anything that she does because we're scared of scaring her off, right? I feel like that's just like a bad situation to posture ourselves in, right, where we aren't able to like criticize the people in our community and for their takes without worrying about them going off, right? Like I feel like that's a very tenuous and weak kind of like association where like I don't know, you know, like I feel like healthy criticism is good. Of course, like online it's impossible to have healthy criticisms. I don't know. Maybe we just need to never criticize anyone else ever.
I completely agree with that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
However,
I definitely feel the infantilizing of ShoeOnHead all the time. Whether it's like even I don't even think I follow her on Twitter, but people like follow like her stuff and retweet it. So when I see it, it's just filled with so many people on the left just like being really simpy or being really reply guy and stuff, and it's just not a fun thing. And I know Twitter isn't representative of leftist discourse, but it's representative in the YouTube comments as well, in the Twitch chats, whenever anyone brings her up. People really, really love Shue around these leftist spaces, and I think it's fine to like her. I'm not going to impugn people for liking someone's content. But I think there is a worrying level of worship that she gets, like that most people don't seem to get.
Funneling it to the top and paying these people at the very top.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Incomes that put them in the top 10%.
Yeah, I think sometimes she gets perceived as like the bubbly little pet girl of the left sometimes. Now that she's sort of made herself of the left. It comes off that way, because it seems like she's the only one that gets babied as far as women on the left. Like ContraPoint certainly doesn't get babied.
No, absolutely not. Even though it's kind of weird. I mean, like they're like comparable in age, right? Like they're both in their like early 30s.
Yeah.
But
is ShoeOnHead in her early 30s?
It's very easy to
yeah, I believe so. Hey, chat, remind me.
Oh, goddamn.
Like how old is? Or I mean, I don't know. This is largely a non-issue. But I mean, like she does like try, like she does have like this aesthetic of like very young, like internet girl. And I'm not saying that she's not, right? But that is also, I think, like an intentional design choice, you know, like it's part of like her established aesthetic, which is good, which is good. She does it well. But I think that is also a reason why Natalie is treated much differently than her, because it's not like Natalie tries to have that same kind of an aesthetic, you know, like that might be like one explanatory difference between them.
You don't think that funding, like,
and also maybe the fact that like people don't have to be as worried about Shue or Natalie like leaving the left, Because it's like, what's Natalie gonna do? Like, is she gonna like leave and go to the? Is Natalie gonna like go to the right? Is Natalie gonna begin the far right grift? Like, no.
It would, but
absolutely.
It's gonna be hard to be accepted there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like she's gonna go turn around and be what, like Blair White 2.0, but actually halfway intelligent. Like, no.
People are gonna give their money to somebody else.
Someone said, I think people assume Shue is farther left than she is. I mean, that's true. Shue is basically just a progressive liberal or sock damn. She says it herself. But for some reason, I'm not sure. People are really, yeah, that's the thing I don't like. When people say shit in comments and replies, and they say shit like, oh yeah, we'll bread pill you soon. We'll get you into communism and everything. It's like, fuck off. Like, you're not gonna be the one to educate this person.
Someone sent me something.
Just
we gotta wrap this up.
be nice to them, treat them like human beings, and you know,
literally just got home.
people can educate themselves or reach out to get education.
And she literally just got back, so I like want to go.
No one's getting bread pilled.
Too much because it just
no,
seems
it doesn't
like
really happen like that. I don't
bullshit.
know. I feel like people's minds change over the course of like a long period of time, right? It's not as simple as like, oh, you expose someone to like a set of ideas, and they magically change their mind overnight. I don't know. For a lot of people, it's like a pretty long and complicated experience.
I'll shrink my webcam so
I do think that there's kind of odd kid gloves tendency for dealing with people who are might be more shaky on leftism.
Dusty Smith,
and of course she's the fact she's totally. No, I think that like
they most frequently feature and support.
No, I think
enough
that's
to put them in the top 1%
definitely a massive part of it, right?
American income. So is this a
like I don't know, but like let's think about someone else. Like
capitalism, and yet you make
I don't know, Chris Ray-Gun. Chris Ray-Gun is someone who was on the stream the other day, like the brunch stream, right? I'm pretty sure if people can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, like that kind of growth has been very similar. Someone who used to like make a lot of like anti-SJW 2016 kind of video content, and then Vosh talked to him, and now he's come over a lot since then. Like, yeah, no, people like it's completely an incomparable way that
socialism is
that he's been treated, right?
Oh man, I don't
because
like debate about social.
I don't know, like I can speculate, but it's probably at least in part because this guy.
I want to go tell my girlfriend.
Oh, for sure.
Also, she seems praised because her being on left makes people like, so I got mad. That's true.
At the heart of it is about the workers owning the means of production.
Yeah, she was also the right's darling.
And the workers being
so now it's in this weird tug of war, like, we want you to be our girl, no, and then the right is wanting her to be their girl.
Anti-socialist take.
Yeah, basically. Oh fuck. What?
Alrighty, have a good one, dude. Hopefully she's doing
yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, man. Hey, look, man.
Oh,
I think
alright. Well,
the
they're
most
finishing
part,
up.
we probably agree on more things than we disagree about.
Dusty said he wants to leave this conversation several times. I mean, he could leave himself. I don't know if I'll say Zan's roping him in necessarily.
We don't have to argue. I just hope that you'll hold Shue.
Wait, sorry, what?
A little bit as accountable as you've held me.
Oh, someone said that Dusty said he wanted to leave this conversation several times, and Zan keeps going.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm paying as much attention.
Me back in the day.
I don't know. I have weird feels about this. I feel like Zan's debate the other day, or was it the other day? Yeah, the other day with
I changed it to my name,
the William Mack show. I just watched that today, and I felt like that was absolutely spectacular.
By that name.
Well,
but
hey, cool,
I don't know.
I appreciate the lively debate, man. And
it's hard.
Like I tell everybody else when I end
I don't know. I feel like the Shue issue is a little murkier because it's not like a settled issue.
Alrighty, go hunt some demons, Bobby Singer.
That's not the first time I've been called that. So,
yeah, no, I know. Alrighty.
Have a good one, man. Later.
See ya.
Alright, enough of that.
Well, that was a more amicable ending than I expected.
Man.
Yeah, let me make sure.
This is my main issue. It feels...
Okay. I'm gonna pawn some music. Let's see, what is good background music? Also, is there anyone else? Oh, there's no one else in the call yet. But yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know. What are people saying in chat? Probably, but like at a certain point in Edge doesn't matter. Zan's pushing for more topics with Dusty, trying to be polite and wrap up. Not the best look to end on. Yeah, I mean, I don't always see how Xan is so much better than people. Like, we honestly don't see... Oh, wait. I don't always see how Xan is so much better than people like we've been talking about. What do you mean? No, I'm interested because, I mean, like, I think that for the most part, I mean, like, I like we're friends. And I think that he has a lot of really good takes. I mean, like, I can... Alright, so let me say this right now. I can like someone and like a lot of their takes and not think that and not sign off on every single one of their arguments or takes, right? I feel like that's a much healthier way to be with political commentary because, like, I feel like the right does this and we criticize them for it, but the left can be guilty of it sometimes as well. Like, oh fuck, that was loud. But I do think that, like, there can be a lot of times. There we go. I feel like there can be, like, a lot of times where we are too afraid to criticize people who we're otherwise close to. But I mean, like, I don't know. I've been able to toe that line pretty well so far. Like, I mean, hell, that's...
Oh, yeah.
That's how I met Natalie. That's how I first got to know Xan. I actually, like, the first videos that I'm... Like, my first interactions with him were criticisms that I made of him, you know? Like, it's not like that is something so crazy and unfounded that we should be able to criticize each other. I think that usually where people get bent out is, like, on two issues, right? So first, people on here are prideful, right? Like let's just be perfectly straight about it. People don't like hearing that they're wrong, and that's kind of like a more visceral kind of appeal, right? Is that, like, when people hear that they're wrong, people can construe it as, like, a personal attack. But then also, like, so, like, that's, like, the first, like, the psychological thing. I do also think that, like, there is kind of, like, an established, like, an established culture on YouTube where most attacks are not levied in good faith, or they're very, like, inflammatory, you know? I usually try to, like, tailor my criticism of people based on, like, whether I think the other person is acting in good or bad faith, you know? If I think that they're acting in good faith, and I think that Xan does, then I'll be, like, very accessible and approachable and nice and everything with my criticism, right? But, like, I'm still gonna levy it because I want to be able to make sure that we're all improving.